Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. It's the year 2022 and we finally get a lot of new gaming notebooks that make an end to low-res 1080p screens without overcompensating with expensive 60fps 4K displays. HP's updated Omen 16 is one such example, trading in the 1080p screen from last year for 165Hz QHD display. To ensure it is adequately fed with fresh frames, the Omen comes with Nvidia's RTX 3070 Ti running at up to 115 watts and Intel's i7-12700H with very generous power levels as well. HP is making sure there is no space wasted in the good looking chassis and added a whopping 32GB of DDR5 RAM and a 1TB SSD. If all this makes for a compelling modern gaming or work laptop, well, I'll tell you in a minute. This is actually my first time coming into contact with HP's Omen lineup, and I just wanted to use the occasion to explain why I am still able to do a proper review about it. Here at Notebook Check, we have a team of very knowledgeable tech writers. These guys do a fantastic job behind the scenes testing all our review devices. We pride ourselves in testing every laptop, smartphone and tablet we get our hands on very thoroughly. How does the device feel? Both at first glance and when using it for more extended periods. How does it perform? Is it upgradable? How is heat management? What about power consumption? Etc. etc. We want to keep you guys informed, entertained and maybe even help you make a buying decision. For today's video, the original article comes from Florian and our review unit was provided by HP Germany. Since the configuration of Nvidia's RTX 3070 Ti and Intel's i7-12700H is quite common, you can quickly put together a complete list of different laptops to compare to in our website tool. Just type in the CPU for example and you get an extensive list from our database. Alright, enough with the rambling around, let us get into the review. While the Omen might be classified as a gaming laptop, its sleek metal chassis with its dark grey color would also look great in a studio for design or video editing work. The base is reasonably resistant to pressure, whereas the lid feels almost a little flimsy, especially when applying pressure to the closed laptop. You can easily open the laptop with one hand if that is important to you. The hinges could be a little stiffer to prevent screen wobble after adjusting the display position. That doesn't mean build quality is terrible. The overall laptop feels pretty good and I'm personally a big fan of the overall appearance. Especially the clean labeling and font used on the keycaps caught my eye, and it's definitely a very welcome departure from the overly gamery style we used to see in other gaming laptops. The Omen is also one of the lightest 16 inches in our database, making it an excellent choice for working and gaming on the go. HP is delivering a great assortment of I/O and also put some thought into positioning, at least if you are a right-handed user. While other laptops tend to move their ports more to the front to make room for cooling vents and radiators, the Omen does it the other way around. There are two USB-A 3.0 ports on the right, located towards the back, so you shouldn't have any problems with mouse movement. The rest of the I/O is located on the left side and includes another USB 3, HDMI, Ethernet, USB-C, Thunderbolt 4, mini DisplayPort, the power connector, an audio combo jack and a very welcome inclusion these days, a full-size SD card reader. It's a very slow one, but well, better a bad one than none, right? Wireless communication places the Omen below the average in our testing. It is still usable, but you might want to switch to a wired network connection for downloading games or files. Upgrades are quickly done and the only obstacle are the different sizes and screws used by HP. The bottom cover is easily removed and you have access to an unoccupied NVMe M.2 slot for easy storage upgrades, the original SSD and 2 RAM slots. I personally really like the keyboard and the large and accurate trackpad in terms of input devices. Especially for a gaming laptop, the trackpad offers a lot of surface area and satisfying clicks. The keys offer solid feedback and fast actuation and felt pleasing for both typing and gaming. The keyboard is also RGB and can be adjusted in 4 zones. A nice touch is definitely the separate lighting zones for the WASD keys, especially for someone like me who likes to adapt its backlight so it matches my wallpaper. The Omen delivers the typical IPS panel experience, with excellent viewing angles and solid contrast. It doesn't excel nor does it disappoint, it's plain and simple a good display. While it doesn't get super bright, our unit also has a slight green tint which could easily be corrected with manual calibration. you can head over to our written review and download our ICC profile for your machine if you own the same configuration. While response times are not as crazy as the MSI Vector we recently tested, we would still consider them well above average, making the Omen an excellent choice for fast-paced video games. In HP's included Omen software, you have access to power and fan controls and Nvidia's advanced Optimus setting. It lets you toggle between using the iGPU and discrete Nvidia GPU based on your application, or manually select one or the other without a reboot. In CPU-only tasks, Intel's latest 14-core Alder Lake i7-12700H, oh god, that's a lot of numbers, is allowed up to 90 watts sustained power draw, placing the Omen 16 slightly above average in our performance tests. Again, it is neither the best and very far from being the worst, which speaks for a well-tuned machine overall. While system performance is mostly excellent, HP's latest gaming laptop loses some ground in the storage department. Most of the competitors offer faster drives, and our review unit unfortunately suffered from fluctuating performance after prolonged use. That said, more than 5 GB per second reads and writes easily outperform older PCIe Gen 3 drives from last year, and the performance difference should hardly be noticeable in everyday use. The Omen 16 is equipped with Nvidia's mainstream high-end GPU, the RTX 3070 Ti. Its performance mainly depends on its given TGP. HP is again taking a middle-of-the-road approach by allowing around 115 watts in games. Although I might keep repeating myself, it's again delivering good but average results. Some 3070 Ti's are a lot faster, for example in the Lenovo Legion 5 Pro, sometimes it can't even beat last year's 3070 non-Ti, and sometimes it can easily outperform laptops with the same GPU. Translated into real-world gaming performance, the Omen delivers a very enjoyable experience. Lowering the resolution to 1080p lets you take advantage of the display's native 165Hz refresh rate, for competitive shooters for example. For slower games or when you prefer visual fidelity, you can easily run most modern games above 60 FPS in the highest settings and in the native QHD resolution. During our stress test or while gaming, the Omen can get quite audible and hot at the same time. We see temperatures above 90 degrees on the CPU and in the mid-70s for the GPU. While it's loud due to the fans moving a lot of air, there are no underlying fan noises, making it somewhat bearable. Since this holds true for almost all powerful gaming notebooks these days, you should have a pair of headphones at the ready for your next gaming or video editing session. Battery life is in line with the competition, which is actually a win for the Omen since most competing laptops use larger capacity batteries. 5.5 hours in our standard web surfing test is substantial, and almost 2 hours under load places the Omen on the top of the pack. Alright guys, so what do we think about the Omen? Given that it is really good in everything we're through at it, and without our tests showing any significant shortcomings, you should really consider the 16-inch notebook when shopping for a sleek and well-designed laptop. Its powerful hardware and generous RAM config should be adequate for the next few years to come. And the QHD display is great for work, games and everything in between. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please subscribe to the channel and consider liking the video if you enjoyed our review. I'm Alex, you watched a Notebook Check laptop review, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one.